Many people look at the ocean and just see water, but what they don't realize is that it's much more than that. It's alive. The largest mountain ranges on the planet are beneath the sea. The deepest canyons are beneath the sea. The ocean gives us more than half of the oxygen we breathe, over 30% of the food we eat. It's our life support system. Every breath we take, every drop of water we drink are connected to nature, especially to the ocean. This body of water covers 72% of the planet, and we are killing it. About 150 years ago, we began to mine fossil carbon and burn it for energy. Today, we release carbon into the air more than 100 times faster than natural processes return it to the earth. Other practices, such as farming and clearing land for agricultural purposes, also contribute to the unprecedented increase of carbon in our atmosphere. Carbon is building up more than ever recorded in history, and we are the only ones who can stop it. Natural processes will take thousands of years to remove the excess carbon from the air. More carbon in the atmosphere warms the climate, making life hard for many species, including us. 25 to 35% of the CO2 that is released into the atmosphere from fossil fuel combustion ends up in the ocean, lowering pH levels and also the ocean saturation state, which is the corrosivity of the water. We are changing the ocean's carbonated chemistry faster than we have in the last million years of Earth's history, and that is having catastrophic effects on our waters and thus livelihoods. Based on the chemistry of water and how marine life responds to it, the kinds of organisms that we think are the most valuable and vulnerable are the ones that build a shell: oysters, clams, crabs, lobsters, corals. However, due to the increase in acidity levels, it's hard for them to make any. You have to understand these issues threatening our food supply and our people's livelihoods. Generations of watermen who rely on producing oysters and other shellfish are struggling. Our levels of pollution are so high that even at full stop, it will take the environment 30 to 50 years to fully go back to normal. So we must do something now. The US is one of the main countries who has realized the effects of their past behavior. In a Scientific American article, we read about the entire US economy being threatened because of ocean acidification. A new federal report points to major potential losses in key fisheries and protective coral reefs. Ocean acidification threatens to cause billions of dollars in damage to the US economy, harming everything from crabs in Alaska to coral reefs in Florida and the Caribbean. All the way from commercial, subsistence, recreational fishing tourism, and coral ecosystem will likely be damaged by ocean acidification. Multi-billion-dollar fisheries such as West Coast Dungeness crab, Alaska king crab, and New England sea scallops are all vulnerable. So are Florida's coral reefs, who can substantially reduce coastal flooding and erosion by dissipating the energy of waves hitting the shore, an asset valued at $8.5 billion. Two U.S. regions appear particularly endangered: Alaska, with its lucrative seafood industry, and the Florida Keys, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, whose coral reefs attract tourists and protect against flood damage and coastal erosion. Alaska's food industry, specifically seafood, employs more than 50,000 people, pays $2 billion a year in wages, and includes the nation's largest and most vulnerable crab fisheries. It also is an essential part of the state's culture and identity, which ocean acidification jeopardizes. More so than any other Americans, Alaskans rely upon subsistence harvests of marine resources to meet their daily nutritional diets. So what if we don't react appropriately? After centuries of polluting the environment for our own benefit, the Earth is retaliating, and we must fight back to restore it. It's our responsibility to amend what we broke. It's our obligation to understand and mitigate damages, correct trends that are negative. Even if we aren't multinational company CEOs, we can still make a change and help turn off lights, drive less, reduce our carbon footprint. Because the only way to stop ocean acidification is to emit less carbon. We are on the verge of a green industrial revolution, a revolution that will expand our economy, protect our resources, and give us real fossil fuel independence. So let's stand by it. There's much we don't know about how carbon pollution will affect our world. Still, we have to choose. We can go on as we have and face numerous problems without the vast ocean resources that have sustained us, or we can move beyond fossil fuels, securing a future that works for all of us, for all living things. So, what will we choose?